Three, two, one, and action. Welcome to Hot Topics when we are discussing ways to increase your finances, make more money, and also save more money. And today's topic is the one about saving more money, and that when it comes to buying an automobile, buying, in particular, buying a new car, and how car dealerships can rip you off. Even when you're buying a new or a used car from a car dealership. So we're going to discuss some very important points to know when buying a car from a car dealership. And the first one is about financing. The Disappearing Financing Act, which some car dealers, not all of them, but some dealers, car dealerships will try to rip you off on. And the first one is the Disappearing Finance Act. After driving home in your new vehicle, you get a call or a letter from the dealer informing you that the on-the-spot financing application has been rejected and now you have to apply for another loan at a higher rate. Now you might, like if you go to these higher risk automotive car dealerships, they might try to use this tactic. They'll give you one finance rate, and then you think you bought the car, you're all excited, you got the car, now they give you a call, the dealer gives you a call and says, oh, we can't give you a loan at that rate, we have to give you one at a higher rate. This is considered the Disappearing Financing Act, and you could avoid this trap by securing an outside financing before you even begin shopping. So in other words, if you can get the car loan and know how much you can get a car loan for and at a good financing rate before you even begin looking for a car. So now you already have a loan from an outside bank for your car. So that way when you go to dealerships, you don't have to worry about them financing you. And that's how a lot of people get in trouble with auto financing, is because they get their financing through the auto dealership, who might try to scam you. Not all, but a lot of them will. Another one is rushing you into a deal. When dealers sense hesitation, they'll sometimes try to force buyers off the fence by telling them that the deal they offered is good only for that day, or that another buyer is interested in the same vehicle. This is their attempt to force you into an emotionally based decision. If you're not absolutely sure about the car you want to buy or truck or whatever, just walk away and sleep on it. And there's always there's definitely more vehicles out there, and there's tons of cars for sale. So don't fall in love with just one. That's the worst thing you could do. If the dealer sees you walking into a dealership and they know that you're in love with a particular automobile, and they know they got you. So even if you see something that you really, really like, act like you don't really like it that much. You walk into a car dealership, you see a beautiful car that you know you really want. Don't act like you love it so much. They look like, this car is all right. I seen better. You never want to show them that you're really interested. Another tactic they use is the low credit score scam. It's no secret that borrowers with excellent credit get the lowest rates on the best loans. What many people don't know is that unscrupulous dealers sometimes tell their buyers that their all-important credit score came back lower than it actually is. This means paying higher interest rates and missing out on lucrative dealer incentives. The solution is to check your credit score rating with all three bureaus before you even begin shopping for a car. So know where you stand, know where your credit is before you even begin shopping for a car. If you know you have good credit, then, or if you know you have poor credit, but know where you stand from the credit bureaus before you even begin shopping for a car. That way there you'll know what kind of financing you'll get and what kind of interest rate you might have to pay. Another way that dealerships try to rip you off is making you pay for dealer prep. Dealer prep is a fee commonly tagged onto itemized bills that unsuspecting buyers are prone to giving at just a glance, often maybe $500 up to $1,000. The fee is supposedly compensates dealers for extra labor they put into securing your vehicle. In reality, it's a hidden add-on. You can beat this scam by examining the purchase receipt and inquiring about every single charge before signing or negotiating um, the transaction. So know all the fees that you might have to pay, all the hidden fees that car dealerships surprise you with after you make this, the deal, the sale or whatever. And then they say, oh, we're gonna add this, we gotta add that. They always seem like they gotta add something on, some sort of, for writing out the receipt, they gotta charge you or whatever. So be careful for that. Another one that you got to work on, or you got to focus on, is promising to pay off your trade-in and failing to. So they can be, a lot of car dealerships can be very sketchy about this. If you can pay off your existing loan, so it's like if you have a car loan if you have a used car and you still owe money on it, and you take it to a dealership, and then they promise to pay off your existing loan in order for you to buy your new car. What they'll do is they'll just tack it onto your new car loan. If you must trade in a car that you owe money on, the balance of the first loan will be added to the loan on the car you're buying, because the dealer is supposed to pay it off, whatever is owed on the trade-in. Sometimes, however, they simply keep the extra money. In the end, the bank loaned the money for the vehicle, and it's you, not the shady dealer, who is responsible. So always remember that. So if you do trade in your old vehicle and you owe money on it, and the car dealership where you go to says, oh, we'll pay off your loan on your old car, and just to buy our new car. If they don't pay it off, or if they do something shady with it, you're still responsible for your old car loan. So just know that. Okay, another one is avoid discussing monthly payments with the dealer. When dealers ask about a buyer's budget, they often do so in terms of monthly payments, but don't take the bait. When you quote a number, the dealer will find a way to work within your budget, often by extending the term of the loan. You could pay nearly $10,000 more over the term of a 7-year loan, for example, than you would on a 5-year loan, even though the monthly payment might have been significantly less. So always be mindful of that, the terms of the loan. Another one is doing a bait and switch with advertised deals. Television is packed with car commercials promising juicy deals with 0% financing for certain number of months. Though commercials come with blocks of tiny, fast-moving print explaining that the deal applies only to buyers with excellent credit, who have huge down payments. When most customers get to the dealership, they often find that the same car comes with far less attractive deal for them. So in other words, if you don't put a high down payment on the car, if you don't have perfect credit, you're not going to get the awesome finance deals that they advertise. So be mindful of those. Another one is saddling you with high interest rates and rebates. Rebates are often used as incentives to buy, but they come from the manufacturer and are applied no matter what the price you pay. When negotiating, do so as if the rebates don't exist. When it's time to convert the rebates into cash, ask to have them applied to the price of the car. If the dealer mails you a check, you'll have to pay interest and taxes. Okay, so when you're buying a new car, often they come with rebates no matter what price it is, even if you get the rock bottom price. So you always want to see what that rock bottom price is first. And what they'll do is they'll try to jack up the price, and then they'll say, oh, we're going to give you these rebates. Well, if you're buying a brand new car, you should already get those rebates from the manufacturer anyway. Even if you get the car at a rock bottom price, you should still get those rebates. So don't let them fool you about that. Selling useless add-ons is another one. Dealers make big bucks convincing unsuspected buyers that extras are actually necessities called add-ons. These upcharges often are completely unnecessary and almost always expensive. Say no to the rust proofing or extended warranties or fabric protection or any other add-ons that they try to sell you. And they'll usually do that at the end of the sale. Once they made the transaction, they'll just start, trying to get you to buy money on these useless add-ons. So be mindful of those. Another tactic is keeping and holding your deposit. Sometimes dealers will tell buyers who are on the fence that they can hold on to the car for them as long as the prospective buyer leaves a deposit, which can be hundreds or thousands of dollars. In many cases, this happens before loan terms are agreed upon. If the buyer decides not to buy or doesn't like the terms, shady dealers will sometimes refuse to refund the deposit. The moral of the story, never leave a hold deposit. If you're not sure you don't want to buy the car, don't leave a deposit. Another one is roping a buyer into a lease. Now, I don't really have too much of a problem with a lease. I think sometimes, depending on the car, I think leasing might be, especially like leasing with an option to buy, is a very good option because you can lease a car for maybe 3 years or so. And if you decide to buy it after the 3 years, you buy the car at a discount rate. You buy it at a rate that it's like as if it was a used car. And depending on the car, sometimes that could be a really good way to buy a car. In some cases, when a buyer balks at the terms of a loan, the dealer will offer to lower the monthly payments with no money down if the purchase happens right away. The trick is that the dealer switched the lease agreement, switched it to a lease agreement rather than a purchase. And so make sure you're knowledgeable about that. If it's a lease, then at the end of the term, you got to give the car back, unless it's a lease with an option to buy. I think that's probably one of the best ways to buy a new car is with a lease with an option to buy. You lease it, especially if you know what kind of car you want to get. You lease it for a few years, and then you buy it at the end of the lease at a discount rate. So it's like buying, and you're paying for, you're buying a used car, so you're not buying you're not buying it brand new, and when you buy a car that's brand new, it depreciates so fast. That way there, if you're leased with option buy and you buy the car 3 years, 3 years later, you're buying it at a depreciated cost, so you're not paying that full price for the car. I think that's the best way to buy a car, but not all cars have that option. All right, the next one is negotiating. When you use a manufacturer's suggested retail price, MSRP, when you use the manufacturer's suggested retail price as a starting point for negotiations, you're vulnerable to dealers who will try to wow you by knocking off big money from the sales price. The problem is the MSRP, the manufacturer's suggested retail price, is artificially high, so dealers will pump that up. So what you want to do is ask about the dealer invoice, the price the dealer paid for the car, and then work around that, negotiate around that number, okay, to get the best deal. And then the final one is the trade-in fraud. And it says there are far too many customers that end up trading in their old cars only to be fooled by the dealership. So a lot of people, when they trade in their old cars, when they want to buy a new car, they're so sick and tired of their old car, and their old car still can have a lot of value in it. But a lot of people, they might be so turned off by their old car, they've been driving it for 5 years or whatever, and they're just sick of driving it. To them, it's old and clunky. It's like an old suit, and they're willing to just give it away. And a lot of dealers know that. They know when you're ready to turn in your old car, you don't even want it anymore. It can still have a lot of value in it, but a lot of people, they don't want their old car anymore. And I've been like this, especially younger people that, you have an old station wagon or something like that. It's an old clunky looking car, but it runs well. It's good transportation. Everything works. It's just not a cool car. You don't like it anymore. You want something new. So you end up practically giving your old car away. And a lot of people make that mistake, that they undervalue their trade-in, And that's a very important point you want to remember, is not to do when you're buying a new car. If you're trading in your old vehicle, not to undervalue your old vehicle. Make sure you get you find out with the value of your trade-in is, or your old car is, before you, if you're going to trade it in to a dealership. Make sure you know what the value of your old car is. Don't undervalue it, because it could be worth more than you think. So those are the ways that I think dealerships take advantage of people. So when you buy a car, think about those points, because it's very important. Because car payments you might be making for a long time, and if you buy a car and you overpay for it, you'll be paying on it for quite a few years. And so that's my hot topic of the week or whatever. So if you like these videos, make sure you subscribe to Hot Topics, where we can go over finances, ways to save money, ways to make money, and ways to earn a lot of money. All right. So if you like these videos, make sure you subscribe to Hot Topics, and have an awesome day. And don't get scammed at the car dealership. Peace.